everyone, today in the plugin spotlight is the GW MixCentric by Waves Audio. Now, I think this is a great plugin. How I can describe it, it's part of the One Knob series and it's all about mixing. This has some absolute wizardry going on inside it, which helps mix your project by turning up one knob, which really means that it sticks to its name as a one knob plugin. So, we'll quickly talk about what's actually in this plugin, and then we're going to put it to use. So anyone who's thinking about purchasing this plugin can see it in action before they purchase it. All I can do is vouch for it. I like to put it in my mixes. Characteristically, I feel like it always adds a bit of brightness, and it also helps with balancing in terms of the compression that it adds. I feel like there's a lot of compression that goes in the higher up the intensity is of this plugin. But I'm going to talk less and I'm going to let the plugin try and speak for itself. Quickly before we put it to use, as you can see, there is an input and there's an output. It's fairly simple, so you can control the level going in to the MixCentric, and then you can also control it going out once it has applied its automatic mixing. So I have put it to the output of this little track that I quickly whipped together. I'm going to quickly play it without the MixCentric. Now, I highly recommend that if you're watching this video right now, that you listen to either a good pair of monitors or you've got a pair of headphones on. Something that's good for reference mixing, something you kind of know what a mix sounds like and what a good mix sounds like, so you can really tell what this plugin does for the project. So, let's play without. That's it without. Now I'm going to add it in, but I'm going to slowly drag it in so you can hear what happens the more intense it gets. Right, go. So, the reason why I turned the intensity all the way up is so we can really expose what it's actually doing. And a lot of the things that I can hear is there's a lot of compression going on in a track. Like, you can hear how squashed the audio was when the intensity turns all the way up. Another thing that I really think this plugin is really good for is it helps the track breathe. There's a lot of high end that's added, but it's not harsh a lot of the time. Now, obviously, when you turn it all the way up, everything just gets a bit much. But what I really think about this plugin is it's really good if you're stuck at a mix and something's not quite sounding right. It adds a little bit of, again, that airiness, that breath, a little bit of that, a little bit of compression, but it's not intense. You feel like it's balanced, it's methodical. It's not just applying a compressor like that. It's not as simple. You can tell there's some sort of data that it's like analyzing when it goes in to try and get the best sound. And again, like, if I had to say overall, I'd say typically with this plugin, it's really good if you just want to like add a little bit of color, like that high-end color to a track. This is really good on vocals. But in terms of a whole mix, I do feel like it did add a little bit more balance to the track. I feel like some characteristics as weren't as audible were brought up a bit, but not in a destructive way. And I feel like it did quite a nice job. It added a little bit more. I kind of liked how when it was sat here, where it's not too much intense, but it's just, again, it's adding a little bit of that airness to let the track breathe a bit more, and I really like that. And little disclaimer, like I've had this plugin now for 7 months, and I always apply it at some point in any mix that I do. A lot of the time I find myself very subtly applying it on the output track like I've done here, because again, as I said, it has a little bit of high end. It's nice. I feel like it's kind of does the job of an exciter in a way, but it's not as destructive on the high end. Now, on a vocal as well, especially for pop vocals, I feel like this goes really nicely. I know there's a voice centric, I think it's called, which is just for vocals. I haven't actually tried that out, but that will be a future plugin spotlight, no doubt. But again, the MixCentric for me is a plugin I very much approve of. I feel like this plugin is tailored for a beginner to intermediate producer, because if you're ever struggling to get a good sounding mix, sometimes just adding this in can really take a mix up a level. It does its job. You know, the proof is in the pudding, and overall, I think this is a great little plugin to have. So it gets the thumbs up from me. I will leave a link to this plugin so you can check out for yourself in the description below. I believe when I bought it, it was $29.99 in the deal. It does fluctuate up to $39.99, I believe, but I do think it's very good value for money. So yeah, this is Plugin Spotlight with the GW Mix